power supplies. Okay, they also come with a Form C relays, 3 Form C relays with alarm, trouble, and supervision relays, and 1 fault relay and 2 programmable relays, each supporting current 2.5 amps at 24 volts DC. And the detectors, they come with a drift compensation technology. This is for effectiveness in the prolonged use of the detectors. So this drift compensation will tell you when the detector it has a lot of accumulation of dirt and it's almost ready for maintenance. So this is very useful for prolonged use of the detectors and to know the status of the smoke detectors or heat detectors that you have connected to the SLC loop in the panel. Okay. Remember, if you guys want to participate or ask some questions, I will be reading the chat. So I will be reading you if you have any questions during the presentation or at the end of the presentation, and we will go through the questions that you may have. Okay. Another important feature to mention about the Silent Night panels is that they, for the notification devices, they come already compatible with the synchronization protocols of different brands of detectors, such as System Sensor, Wheelock, Gentex, and Enseco. So if you have these type of brands for notification devices or for strobes, the Silent Night panels can work with these synchronization protocols. On the other hand, we have a built-in SBUS. The SBUS is an intelligent bus for connection of devices such as power supplies, annunciators, SLC cards, and so much more. And here it's important to mention that I only know this brand, Silent Night, has this special feature that you can connect the SLC cards, the external or the additional SLC cards remotely. So not even in Firelight or Notifier or some other Honeywell or other fire alarm control panels. I know that just Silent Night have this feature that you can connect the remote or external SLC loop cards such as the 6815, and they can be installed outside of the chassis of the panel, and they can be installed on the smart power supplies, and you can have easier connection and a better way to connect the SLC loop cards on external or remote locations. So maybe you have one building with the internal SBUS or the internal SLC loop card, but you want to connect a power supply with a remote SLC card. You can do this with Silent Night. Okay. Like I mentioned, the Silent Night brand has a common link communication, inter-panel connectivity, and they can be connected through copper with the SK-MIC card, and they can also be connected through fiber optics, either single mode or multi-mode connection with these cards that we'll see in a moment. We also have mass notification and audio evacuation with the 6820 EVS panel, and we have 100% programmable using the software called HFSS for Honeywell Fire Software Suite. This is a tool that it's free that you can download from the Silent Night website, and it's very important to use this tool since you can do the programming on the panel itself, but almost 100%. But the mapping will be performed through the HFSS, the software suite. What is the mapping? The mapping is assigning to initiating devices some software zones, that these software zones will allow you to activate different output groups, such as horn strobe, notification devices, or even relay modules for supplementary functions. So the mapping can only be done through the software suite. Okay, so the software suite is mandatory for the whole programming of the fire alarm control panels, the silent night panels, and it's again, it's free. It doesn't have a license, so you can download it from the Silent Night website. Okay, the Silent Night system or panels, they support SK, SS, and SD addressable devices. The SK, Silent Night, they are system sensor devices, and also the SS are system sensor devices, but the SD are Hochiki devices, but these Hochiki devices are unavailable, they're discontinued. So if you have a project with SD devices and you want to expand or replace, you will have to replace the SD devices with SK or SS sensors, because the SD are discontinued. And keep in mind that the SK and SS are system sensor devices, but the SS have been launched to the market for almost a couple years, and they are most cost effective. They are cheaper than the SK. So keep in mind that in the projects for Silent Night, you can either quote or get SK or SS devices, and the SD are discontinued. So, and also these devices cannot be combined in the same system. So if you have SD devices and you want to expand and install SS or SK, they cannot be combined. They can either be SKSS or SD. Okay, so those are the sensors that we have in Silent Night. Let me read the chat. No questions so far. Let's continue. All right, so on the 6000 series panels comparison, we have on the left-hand side, we have the smallest panel, which is the 6700 panel. It has a feature or a capability of 50 addressable SD devices, or you can connect up to 100 point on SK or SS sensors, but they have to be divided in 50 sensors or detectors and 50 modules. You have software zones up to 125 software zones, and output groups, 125 output groups. So remember, the software zones are zones in the software that you assign to initiating devices, such as detector or monitor modules, that they are assigned to output groups to activate different devices or notification devices or relay modules to activate supplementary functions. So that's called mapping, assigning the software zone, the initiating points to software zones to activate output groups. Okay, so with that being explained, the 6700 panel comes up to 2 NACs embedded in the panel. It supports Class A connection in SLC and NACs. It only supports Class B connection for SBUS, not Class A. It has an internal communicator, DAC and IP. It can connect up to 8 remote annunciators, and it comes with a total power of 2.0 amps hours, and it has a capability of 8 addressable power supplies. Okay. On the other hand, we have the 6808. it has a bigger capability of addressable points on SD 127. On SK and SS detectors, it can connect up to 99 detectors or sensors and 99 modules. You cannot connect like 100 modules or more than 100 detectors. It has to be 99 modules and 99 detectors. And you cannot connect an external loop card or SLC card. It only works with the SLC card that comes included in the panel. You can add up to 250 software zones, 200 output groups, and you can, it has up to 4 NACs on its PCB board, and it supports Class A for SLC NACs and Class B, only Class B for SBUS. It also has a DACT communicator and IP communicator. And then with this one, you can connect up to 12 remote annunciators. And it has a total power of 6 amps. And it has a capability of 8 addressable power supplies. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have the 6820 and 6820 EVS. They are the biggest panel of the Silent Night brand. You can connect up to 127 SD points or devices. And with the loop cards, you can expand up to 635 addressable devices on SD protocol. But on the SK and SS sensor and modules, you can, on the SLC connected on the 6820 panels, you can connect 159 detectors and 159 modules, and they can be expanded up to 1,110 total points. So you can connect multiple SLC, like the 6815 loop card expander, and it has the particularity or the versatility that you can connect. It doesn't have to be the half monitors and half modules, half detectors and half modules. No, you can connect even 1,000 detectors and the 110 modules, or you can connect 1,100 detectors and now modules. So it depends how you want. It only has the restriction on the SLC cards that it can go up to 1,110 total points. Okay, so that gives a versatility of the 6820 panels to connect a lot of devices. It has 999 software zones, 999 output groups. This one comes with the 4 NACs on the PCB board on the panel, and it also comes with 2 IOs. The 2 IOs can be inputs or outputs. They are flex put input or outputs. Inputs to connect probably 2-wire or 4-wire conventional detectors, or to connect another NAC. It could be the inputs, or the outputs can be for door contacts or for different devices such as monitor modules, or it can be a NAC output. And on the support class A connection on the SLC and NAC, also on this one, different than the 6700 and 6808. On this one, you can connect a Class A SBUS on the SBUS, and it has an internal communicator, DAC and IP. It can connect up to 16 remote annunciators, and it has a total power of 6 amps and a capability of up to 16 addressable power supplies. Okay, let's see if there's any question on the chat. I don't see any questions so far. All right, we're going to continue with the next slide. Right. I want to mention that this panel has a flexibility in terms of connection points. So this is a little bit different on the regular other panels, such as Honeywell Notifier or Firelight. On this image here, you can see this is only for the 6820 and 6820 EVS panels. So here, like I mentioned before, you can have a total of up to 1,110 points, and they can be divided on different panel and power supply. So on the first image, the panel 6820, you can see that it can connect up to 159 detectors with the internal SLC, and you can expand up to 2 SLC cards, such as the 6815, and you can have 315 more detectors. So on the first panel, you have the internal SLC, and you can connect up to 2 6815 external expansion cards. And through the SBUS, you can connect the 6820 with a 5895 intelligent or smart power supply. And on the smart power supply, you can connect up to 2 more SLC cards, giving you 159 per card. So it will be 318 detectors. And you can connect another smart or intelligent power supply through the SBUS, and you can connect 2 additional SLC 60 and 15 smart expansion cards to give you 159 detectors per card. So as you can see in this topology, we have the 6820 panel, we have 2 6815 SLC on the panel, we have 2 5895 XL power supply with 4 1615 expansion cards and 4 SLC, with a total of 7 SLC, with each one of 159 sensor up to 1,110 points. So this is a very versatile and different communication style for the expansion cards of the SLC on the 6000 series Silent Night panel. So this it's very important, and it's very versatile on the Silent Night panels for expanding the amount of detectors and modules that you can connect to the SLC cards. Okay. All right. So we have protection of multiple buildings or locations with a single panel. On this topology or architecture here, we have 4 buildings. On the first, on building 1, we have a 6820 panel, and it's connected through the SLC with the detectors and modules, and with a 4-wire communication SBUS is connected to copper on the SK-NIC card. And from the first building to the building number 2, you can connect fiber optic with different card for fiber optic, and then you can do the same with the 5869 XL power supply. You can connect different notification devices, detectors with an expansion card, and then so far and so on. You can connect another fiber optic cards to a building 3, do the same topology with a smart power supply or intelligent power supply, and then you can connect through fiber optic to building number 4. So that would be a connection of copper and fiber optic topology of multiple buildings, having a 6820 panel and 3 additional intelligent power supplies. Okay, now on the compatible, smart, and distributed conventional power supplies, if we look on the right-hand side, we have the smart power supply. The biggest one, on the one on the right, is the 5895 XL power supply, and we have the 5496 smart power supply. They are smart because they can be connected through the SBUS communication between the panel and the power supply. They are 6 amp power supplies, and they have flex outputs for different connection of different devices. And on the left-hand side, we have the conventional distributed power supplies that they are available in Notifier and Firelight. They are the HPF PS6 and the HPF PS10. The first one being 6 amp power supply, and the second one being 10 power supply, 10 amp power supply. Okay. I can mention the 5895 XL Smart Power Supply. They come with a built-in SBUS amplifier for extending distances, and you can connect up to 6,000 feet of distance between the main fire alarm control panel and the smart power supply. So you can connect each power supply with the distance of up to 6,000 feet, and they have loop cards. They can have the 6815 loop card integrated up to 2 6815 SLC loop cards embedded on the chassis, and they have flexi in outputs to allows Class A connection for the SBUS. All right, so here we have a topology of how to do synchronization with 4 power supplies. So the main fire alarm control panel will be connected with the NAC, and the synchronization can go up to 4 power supplies connected in cascading connection. So in cascading connection, they can be connected up to 4 power supplies to do the synchronization of strobes or visual notification devices. And you can do some other like T-taps or some other variations that I describe better on the certification training. But as for you to know, you can connect up to 4 power supplies for synchronization of the strobe lights. Okay. I want to make a quick pause here. I'm reading the chat. No questions so far. Remember, if you have any questions, you can write on the chat. And this is a good time to remind you that today, if you click on the link we send you on the chat, you can register for the certification training, the 3-day certification training that you will get a kit for Silent Night certification with some panel and some other components that you can do practical exercises or laboratories during the certification training. And that will be in Miami on June. So if you want to register for a special price, you can register today, and that will be it. Okay, so let's continue with the presentation. We have a multi-site connection methods. Like I mentioned before, this is a communication link between the panels, and you can select a panel to be the master panel with the deep switches configuration, and you can connect the other panels to the SK NIC card, and that communication architecture, you can have the master panel to send information through the CLSS pathway the CLSS pathway communicator will send the information through the cloud, on the CLSS cloud. And then from the CLSS cloud, you can monitor the panels through the CLS Site Manager, or you can use the CLS app on the smartphone. And also, in this case, the 6700 panel, it also communicates with Central Station, and all the other panels send events for monitoring to the master panel. Any panel within the network can be designed as the communicator for all sites and perform monitoring of all sites. Okay, so that's the multi-site connection method. All right, like I mentioned before, on the communication we have between the panels, you have the SK-NIC card, which is the copper card for connection between panels. And you can have communication through fiber optics with the SKFML, which is for multi-mode fiber optic connection, and the SKFSL for single mode connection on fiber optics. And keep in mind that you can do a mixture, let's say like that, between the SK-NIC or the copper, and you can have one panel A, connected through multi-mode with panel B, and panel B can be connected on single mode with panel C. So you can do a mixture of the fiber optic cards for the connection between the panels. It allows CI protocol, AlarmNet to contact ID monitoring devices by groups or points. So those are the cards that we use for the communication between the panels. Keep in mind that the SK-NIC can be stored or installed on the 6820 or the 6808, but on the 6700, it has a small cabinet, so it cannot be installed on that panel. You will have to use an SK-NIC kit. That is just the box, so you can install the SK-NIC on a 6700 on additional box or cabinet. All right, on the complete, we have a complete line of annunciators. We have the 6860. It has 160 characters LCD display. It has the main buttons such as acknowledge, reset, and silence, and the direction buttons. And they can be locked with a key for access protection and available for surface mount version. We do also have another remote annunciator, which is the 6855. This one is smaller. It has 80 characters LCD. And we have the 5860R, which is also 80 characters LCD annunciator. And it also comes with a firefighter key to access the code or access available in surface mount. All right, so on the SK series of addressable detectors and modules, we have different options of detectors, such as the SK Photo, which is the photoelectric smoke detectors. We have the SK Photo T, which is photo and thermal. We have the SK Photo R, which is for remote test for duct detectors. We have the SK Heat, fixed temperature detector or heat detector. We have Heat Roar, or rate of rise, which detects increase of temperature in less than a minute, like 8 degrees in less than a minute is rate of rise. We have the heat high temperature detector. We have the multi-criteria detector, such as the SK Fire CO, which is a smoke, fire, and CO detector. And we have another multi-criteria, which is the PTIR, which is photoelectric, thermal, and infrared detector or sensor. They are all ULC listed, UL with 7th edition, and all heats UL 521 listed and FM approved. Those are the silent night system sensor detectors that we have on the silent night panels or silent night products. We also have different detector bases. We have white B501 base. We have the base that it has in bulk package. We have sounder base. We have sounder base for low frequency. We have isolator base. We have relay base, and we have color kits to change the colors on the detectors, or ivory or black instead of the white color. On the SK detector, we also have the addressable duct detector, and the SK duct, it comes with or you have to select DST, which is a sample point with different lengths in foot. And we have the remote test station, the RTS-151 key. And for the beam detectors, we have addressable OSIRI-SK with imager and receptor. And also you can connect a conventional smoke detector, beam detector, I mean, with a monitor module. So those are the detectors that we have on silent night. We're almost running out of time, so I'm going to go a little bit faster with this slide. On the modules, we have monitor modules, and the mini monitor module, the monitor module, relay monitor module, relay module, two-wire sound module, control module, isolator module, and pull station of single action and dual action. Okay. On the modules, we also have a multiple devices module. The SK-Mon10, it can be up to 10 monitor module. The SK Relay 6 has up to 6 relay modules. The SK Control 6 control module, the SK Sun 6 Sun modules, and the SK ISO 6 isolator modules. So each module on the multiple devices will occupy an addressable or an address on the programming of the panel. So if it has 10 monitor, you will have directions from, let's say, 1 to 10. So you will have 10 addresses programmed on the programming of the panel. I mean, on the all SK addressable devices, they come with a rotatory switch. This is very useful to install the detector, all the modules. So as they are addressable panels, the detector and the modules come with this rotatory switch. The left switch is for tens, and the right switch is for ones. So if you want to select a 35 address, you will put the 10s rotatory switch to 3, and the 5 rotatory switch and the 1's rotatory switch to 5 to give 35. So this is very useful for adding new devices, replacing devices, or deleting devices. You just, if you're gonna replace a device, you can use the same address, set it at the same address that the old detector was, and that way it can be added to the programming on the panel without having to do any other particular steps, just changing the rotatory switch to the corresponding address. Okay. We have the Swift, which is the wireless communication for the silent night panels. Let me explain this real quick because we're running out of time. So you have and this topology is a mesh network, where you have a gateway, a wireless gateway. The wireless gateway is connected to the fire alarm control panel, and the detector, wireless detector, and wireless modules are interconnected between the devices. They are emitter and transmitter. So they send and receive information. So in case if one device doesn't work, the other device will keep working. So you can add up to 4 gateways in a 6820, up to 2 gateways on a 6808, and up to 1 gateway on a 6700 panel. So those are the mesh communication on the gateway and for the wireless sweep technology of wireless devices. And the wireless devices, we have different devices such as the WSK-WGI, which is the gateway. We have wireless photo detectors, wireless heat detectors, wireless monitor modules, wireless relay modules. It has a WUSB, which comes with the software Swift tools for the Swift programming. And it comes with different bases to make the notification, the wireless, and also a wireless pull station and wireless synchronization module. This is a quick architecture or common architecture where we have the 6820 EVS audio evacuation panel connected to the SBUS with an amplifier and local operator console. And on the amplifier, we have the connection with the speakers. That will be for the audio evacuation on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have the SLC communication or connection that are for the detectors, the modules, pull stations. And on the SBUS communication, it will be for connection of annunciator or smart power supplies or addressable power supplies. And keep in mind that the connection between the amplifiers and the local operation console with the fire alarm control panel will be through the B bus. It's another bus for communication of voice communication, I mean. So that's basically a system connection architecture. The 6820 EVS, you can up to 5 1-minute recordable messages. The EVS messages can be selected as having priority over fire. Supports up to 4 local operator consoles, supports up to 4 addressable amplifiers. On the amplifier, we have 50 watts amplifier, 105 watts amplifier, and 125 watts amplifier for a maximum of 1000 watts per system. It supports dual channel backup audio using EVS 100W amplifier and a single enclosure for all fire and emergency control system and a built-in supervised microphone to record the evacuation messages. Okay, on the EVS devices, we have the local operator console, remote supervised microphone combination, allows easy and immediate remote access to communicate, and up to 4 local operator consoles can be connected on the same loop. So we also have, like I mentioned, the 50 watts, 100 watts, and 125 amplifiers. And we also have the FFT, Firefighter Telephone Control System, which is a fire telephone communication system for the firefighters and can control announcement up to 48 remote fire telephone with LED to help point the problem, and maximum up to 8 telephones. Okay. All right. So this is, like I mentioned before, the Honeywell Fire Software Suite. The software suite is free. You can download it from the Silent Night website. And keep in mind that, like I mentioned, it's mandatory to use the software suite for do the mapping. Remember, the mapping is to add initiating points to software zones, and those software zones assigning to output groups to perform different action on notification devices from an initiating device. So That's mandatory for the mapping of the silent night panel. All right, this is the CLSS pathway, the communicator that the brand has for communication. It can be connected to the TP ring on the panel. It comes with or you connect just the power, the 24 volts from the SBUS or the power supply of the panel, and the tip and ring from the tip and ring and that communicator to the CLSS pathway. Once connected, you can also connect an IP communication or a connection to the CLSS gateway. So the CLSS pathway, the CLSS pathway can send information through the CLSS cloud, and then through the CLSS cloud to the remote desk or the client version and the CLS app on a phone. So that's for communication, sending the communication and the communication of the panels, and send the operation and events of the panels through the cloud. So you can see that on the app or on the web browser. So as you can see here, this is the main CLS Site Manager, CLS web app. So the architecture is you have the fire alarm control panel connected to the CLS pathway. It sends an encrypted signal to the CLS cloud platform, and from the cloud with an encrypted signal to the CLSS Site Manager and to the CLS mobile app. And from the CLS cloud, it can send encrypted signal with the events of the panel to a central station or monitoring station. And that's basically the architecture of the gateway and the CLS Site Manager and CLSS mobile app. Okay. All right, so that's basically a quick presentation about the 6000 series of Silent Night. So we appreciate your assistance and participation. Remember, if you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. And it's a good opportunity for you guys, if you're interested on the certification, to click on the link we send you on the